Join us, Alix
and Colleen,
self-proclaimed fake it till you make it experts, as we navigate the highs and lows of being a woman and how the pressure and overwhelm of trying to do it all often leads to feeling like an imposter in our own lives. This week's guest is DeeDee Morris. As an experienced and highly talented photographer, DeeDee chats with us about how imposter syndrome shows up for her as both a creative entrepreneur and also as a parent, and the mindset shift she uses to overcome and thrive.
Hi, Alix.
Hi, Colleen.
How you doing?
I'm good.
I noticed you've got a new bracelet on today I've never seen before.
Oh, yeah, this one?
Yeah.
I thrifted it.
Did you? Where'd you
Yeah.
get it?
Mission Mart, I think.
It's beautiful.
Thanks.
For those of you that are not on YouTube watching us, it is a brown leather.
I'm in my leather era.
She's in her leather era.
I'm
I'm wearing one as
eating-
well. This is a new one.
Ooh, I like that one.
This is just a black thin band from Zophie Creatives. Yeah, I love it. I love bracelets. Don't you love?
I like them. They're easy. I don't
Layering
wear a
it.
ton of jewelry, but this one I just can't take off because I can't tie it onto that arm. My husband tied it on and now it must stay on
Now it's
forever.
there forever. What do you think about those forever bracelets that you can get?
I like the idea of it. I just don't like any of them.
Oh, I haven't seen any of them.
I just don't like the chains are so boring, but I like the idea of it. I think the fusing is cool and interesting. I just wish they had better options.
Yeah, because I would like to do one with Megan. I think that would be really nice for us to do.
Yeah, I would do it with Carrie too.
Yeah.
It's just they're boring to me. They're too boring for me.
Okay.
But I
We
feel
need
like
to
it's
find
just
a
that
more
it's just at
artsy.
its infancy now. So more options surely will come available.
We need to find a creative, artsy person who wants to do.
But it has to be
Not
metal
that-
because you have to
it has to
fuse
be
them,
metal.
so you are limited in terms of what, and you have to keep the cost down, obviously. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, people out there, come up
Maybe
with
we
something.
should start that.
Yes, we need more things to
We
do.
need more things to do. Speaking of artsy and creative,
Look at that segue.
Wasn't
Look
that
what we
good?
did there? That was so good.
tonight we have on this week's episode, DeeDee Morris. And you are holy shit artsy and creative.
100%.
DeeDee is a photographer. If you've never seen her work, go follow her on Instagram. But here is what I love. Your photos, whether you're doing a wedding shot, a family shot, an engagement shoot, whatever, doesn't matter what you're doing. Every single shot tells a story.
That's
And-
my goal.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. I can look at your photos and I could almost write a blog post imagining what that story of that family or that couple is.
Maybe
They
I
all
could just
look
hire you
different.
to do that.
That would be fun. It would all be
I'm
fake.
not good at the
all my
blogging.
It would all be from my
That'd be
imagination.
That's fine. That's even better.
But how do you make that happen? How do you do that? How do you do that?
I don't just jump into a session. That's really where I start. I try to never, I shouldn't say never, because sometimes it just happens, but I try to never just jump into a session where I haven't at least had a questionnaire and email relationship back and forth. That's like the least. The most is when I do my full on branding sessions, I have an hour and a half Zoom call with the person before I ever put them in front of my lens.
I love that.
Yeah.
You can see it. You can tell.
Being in front of the lens is awkward.
Mhm.
I hate it. I hate being in front of people's lens. I get like squirrely and start making weird faces. So I want people to feel comfortable. And I feel like if they have been somewhat vulnerable with me before they have to step in front of the lens and be completely vulnerable, then it makes it easier and it makes them more authentic and open and relaxed and themselves. So,
Oh,
Yeah, I
that's
agree.
wonderful.
The first time I ever did any branding shoot was with you, and
oh
I
yeah,
didn't know
really?
what to expect.
That was the
Yeah,
first time?
yeah, it was the
Oh.
first time, and I was completely at ease. And I think I
Yeah.
remember telling you at the time too. I was surprised at how
Yeah.
comfortable I felt and how much it really represented me.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty closed book with people I don't know,
Yeah.
and I was really impressed with how much it looked and felt like me. And I wish I
Oh,
still
that's
looked
so
like
good.
that because I want to use those photos, but I don't look anything like that anymore.
What do you
Oh,
mean?
I had short, dark hair.
Oh yeah.
This was right
Oh,
before
wow,
the
that looks
pandemic.
So good now. I love it like this.
I love her hair like this too.
It's so
Isn't it
nice.
nice?
Thank you, but I don't look anything like those photos anymore. I was just looking
Right.
at them
So
the
now
other
we
day
just
and
need
I
to
was
do
like,
it again.
right?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, just do it now.
I don't look anything like my last brand shoot either. And it was just before the pandemic. And I don't look like it.
No one looks like they did right before the pandemic.
You're
I
right.
mean, I do, guys. I look like the same
You
as
do?
25 years ago. No.
Oh,
Everybody aged like 15
Yeah.
we did. We all did.
We all gained like 20 pounds in age 50 years.
Oh, we're a mess. We're a mess. So I love your work. I think your
Thank you.
photos are beautiful. You've been a photographer for 15 years?
Ish. I don't remember when I started, like professionally started. And I was still shooting film when I started professionally. So yeah, I feel like that kind of ages me. I can't put a date on when I started, but I first shot weddings in film because digital was really crappy when I first started. And still to this day, I don't know, I feel like there's nothing compared to film still.
I was going to ask you, do
Yeah.
you still shoot film sometimes?
So for a while I didn't, and the past couple of years I started to again, not at my sessions so much. If I do, it's like just for me, and I'll give them to my clients, but it's I don't charge them for it at this point because I'm still like getting the hang of it again and trying to make sure that they're turning out how I'm seeing things in my head, or at least somewhat like that. But yeah, I started to shoot film again. I got like really, so I bought a mirrorless Canon, an R5, and it is so crisp and so clear and so perfect that I got really mad. And I was like, damn it, this isn't actually what I want. This isn't how I shoot. This isn't. And I was like, I'm going to have to learn how to retouch everything because it's so crisp. I can see every pore on this person's face.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't shoot like that. Why did I do this? And so then I started shooting film again and was like, this is better. This is what I like.
I find your photos are layered, like they're texture. You can, so I can see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, with the mirrorless, like that crisp, whatever.
Yeah. And I'm learning.
Yeah.
I'm learning how to use it in a way that feeds my soul instead of just in a technical way that it was created for. Like photography, I feel like you can just go bonkers with technical information and it really loses its artistry a little bit. And at least it loses my artistry. Some people are very good at artistically using that technical perfection. And I'm learning how to use it for the way that I shoot.
As a creative, I think creatives have imposter syndrome, in my personal opinion.
You think?
More than anybody else. I'm
Potentially.
doing a study. This is a study right now.
Our whole podcast is a study.
Yeah, it
This
is.
is the study, yeah. I have no idea, but I really and truly believe that creatives are really hard on themselves. So let's dive into that a bit.
Yeah.
How you doing with imposter syndrome?
So interestingly, this summer was like a battle, and mostly because I decided to not put my kids in camp, which meant that I really decided not to work because they're 7. You can't. So I did work for like June and July, but August I had one client and she was a friend. So it was fine. I didn't have to put too much thought and energy into it. But yeah, I didn't work August. I edited what I took in July, but it was like I had to turn off social media. I had to turn off all the voices that from the age of 14 told me, no, you have to make money, you have to work, you have to do this, you have to be busy, you have to put your nose to the grindstone and get those clients and make sure that people are seeing you, that you're visual, that you're like out there producing. And it was hard. It was really hard to not compare myself, to not look at other photographers working and think, oh no, what did I do?
Part of it must have been so freeing at the
Oh
same
my God,
time.
it was amazing. It was so amazing. Yeah.
When was the last time you took a vacation like that?
Like when I was 13.
Yeah, I'm just like,
I think you were due.
yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
No.
you've got twins.
I have twins. Yeah. So I guess, no, I was going to say I took a vacation when I had twins, but that's a lie because that's not a
There's no vacation.
Yes.
There's no vacation there.
No, not so much.
But I bet I can imagine deciding to take the month off.
Yeah.
Because the kids aren't in camp. you
Yeah.
know, so you're not off, you're working with the kids.
Yeah.
But deciding to take that month and constantly seeing what everybody else is doing had to be challenging,
It was like hard on the head. But every time I had the thought of you need to be doing this, I was like, no, actually, I need to be resting. I need to rest. I need to open myself up to other creative potentials. I need to just turn off my brain and turn off my camera unless it was just, I felt like picking it up. And I did. And I read so many shitty books.
I love that.
Oh, I love that.
So
Beach reads.
many.
Yeah.
Yes. And it was
Yeah.
so lovely.
I just love
haven't
the pep
read like
talk that you gave yourself. That is so smart.
Yeah, you have to. Otherwise, you're just gonna like start working again.
Yeah, I know. Just
Yeah.
I need to start giving myself pep talks. But I love that. I understand that constant battle to be like, oh, I should be getting more work, or I need
Yeah.
to be top of mind, or what am I gonna do when this falls off, or always what if. But I also just love the pausing and being.
Yeah, like it was a lot of stopping and breathing and like taking that deep breath of, okay, I'm feeling this, and then breathing it out and letting it go and just understanding that it's okay. It's okay that I was feeling all those things, but to not let those drive me into making other decisions. Other than that, I just need to be at home and I need to rest and be with my kids. Like from a young age, they have been put into camp so I could work during the summertime. And it was like, you go to school, then you go to camp. And I grew up running around in the fields, doing nothing, being bored.
Yeah.
And I just really wanted them to have that.
Yeah.
So that's what I
true.
did. And it was amazing to see how they started to play differently, having that boredom. They just created these worlds and were so nice to each other. Because they
are
were
never bored. They're never
exhausted.
bored anymore.
No, they're not. And they were bored and they had to come up with things to do. And it was amazing.
Because how are they going to be allowed to be creative individuals if they don't use their imagination?
That's the
way,
thing.
you
And
know?
they have amazing imaginations. And that was the other thing that happened this summer is I would just sit and listen to them talk and create these stories of things that were going on. I would just be like, man, how do I like just bottle that up for myself and exist in that space of total freedom of imagination? Like my daughter made this book called Duck Wars. It's like a comic book. She's 7. She drew out this comic book, made the book with like paper that she found and stapled together and drew all about these ducks at war. And a lot of it includes pooping and you know,
I mean,
obviously. Yeah.
Before, so.
But it's just amazing. I don't know. I found a lot of inspiration in just watching them be.
I loved your post. I think it was right before the storm where you said one of your daughters, I can't remember which one, said, oh, good thing I have 3 stories I'm working on.
Yes.
Okay, so
that
was
was
that's
Micah.
incredible.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
So good.
Isn't that great?
Yeah. And it was like my kids definitely love to be on their tablets and watch TV. But that was one of the first times that they said, oh, I have this that I can do, instead of how are we going to watch TV if this power's out?
Yeah, no, I think I love it. Like sometimes my son will be upstairs and I can just hear him singing or doing something. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's, I'm drawing.
Yeah.
Or I'm like doing a makeup look or whatever. But he's an only child, so he has to find ways to entertain himself. But I love that he does.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Do you compare yourself to other photographers often? Do you use it to knock yourself down, or do you use it to learn?
Both. I think at this stage it's more to learn. The knocking myself down happens more on a business level than a creative level.
Interesting.
Because I think because I'm at a higher price than most photographers out in this area, I don't get as much work. I don't need to get as much work. I set myself up for that. But when I see other photographers working all the time, I get in my head about it of like, but why aren't they contacting me? And it's fine that they're not, but you can so easily just get into your head and tear yourself down and tell yourself, oh no, I put my prices too high. I shouldn't have done that. I should lower my prices. And I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to work that much. I don't need to work that much. And I can't work that much because when I do work a lot, like that much, I get burnt out. and then I can't show up for my clients.
This is such an important conversation. And I feel it's one that we have with a lot of guests and ourselves. And even when we had an episode with Sam Madore, who was saying she's comparing herself to people on Instagram that she doesn't even really want what they have, but it's just
Exactly.
an act of comparing to something that we think we want. But when
Yes.
you actually come down and think about it, no, we don't need to work that much.
Yeah.
And that's more ego driven than it
Yeah.
is even financial or creative. But it's such this, it's capitalism.
It is.
We're all-
It is.
we're
it
all
is,
in it.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a friend who is a therapist, and she always asks me this one question whenever I'm like getting in my head about something. If you had that, what would it change?
Oh,
What would change?
Oh, I'm going to use that.
It's so brilliant. And every time I'm like, damn it, nothing. It would change nothing.
If add to that,
Most times
what
I'll
would
probably
it
just make
change?
everything harder.
Exactly. Yeah. Like we were talking about financials the other day, and she asked me, she was like, if you were making 150,000 or 200,000 instead of what you're making now, what would change in your life? Like what would actually change? And I was like, actually nothing. Like really,
Your
If-
expenses would go up.
your expenses would go up because you'd probably
You'd
spend
pay
more
more
money.
for-
You'd pay more taxes.
Pay more taxes.
Yeah. Anyways, it was just and every time she asked me that question, I'm just like, damn.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to use that.
Yeah.
Are you doing what you want to be doing right now?
Yes, actually, if you had asked me that like in June, I might have said no
That's
because I
that
was
is
burnt
2
out.
months ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I was so burnt out. I got home from Italy, and I traveled in Italy and Portugal in April and loved it. It was amazing. Had the best time, came home and was like pretty like low key depressed for a while, which can happen when you go to Italy and come back
Yes.
to Canada.
It
No, I
happened-
feel like I'm
it
just
happened to me in
vicariously
May.
through your
Yeah.
traveling.
Yeah. And so, and I was like, really, I had been starting to feel burnt out from taking photos a year ago, actually, and like ready to just throw in the towel and be done with it. And then after Italy, I was really ready. So that was also another confirmation as to why I needed to just stop for the summer.
Okay, so let's talk through how did you get yourself through the burnout? Are you through the burnout?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah. When did the kids go back to school? Was it last week? that they went back?
Yes.
Yes. 2 days before they went back to school, I just was raring to go. I was like excited, like, okay, now I can work. I'm ready. Let's go.
Amazing.
But
Yeah.
what are you going to change? What changes are you going to put into place so that you're
that
not
I don't get
back
burnt
there
out again?
3 months down the road?
That's a really good question.
Let's back up a little bit
Yeah.
though. What makes you answer her question saying that you are doing exactly what you want to do now that you weren't in June?
Yes.
What's changed?
I think what's changed is just I'm rested.
Okay.
Like my body has rested and my brain rested. And I think when it comes to the burnout for me was around family sessions. And so because with my branding sessions, with my portrait sessions, and even with weddings, which I very rarely take, I have more creative control over those. And so I can like really push myself to be creative. With family sessions, it's a lot of just me running around and capturing what I see in front of me. And so the only way that I can creatively push is to push myself a little bit technically.
Mm.
So I think I was getting really bored. I'm bored of what I was producing and bored of what I'm seeing out there being produced.
Let's say you gave up family sessions.
So I've thought about it. I don't think I'm there yet. I don't think that I'm ready to do that because I love my families.
Yeah.
Like I really do.
So maybe you
And-
limit them. Maybe you say
Yeah.
in a month scheduling, I only take 6 family
Yeah.
sessions in that month or something.
But I
Why
think
not?
it also
Right?
helps-
All my
it also
problems.
helps to position you as more of an elite photographer, which you are with 15 years experience, and
Yeah.
what you do is elevated.
Yeah.
There's
Mhm.
no doubt about that. Offering limited access to you also makes sense from a branding and positioning standpoint.
Yeah. And I have for a long time. No, I haven't. That's a lie. I was gonna say really only taking on a few clients, but no, in the summer and in the fall, I take on a lot of clients and I need to not do that.
Mm.
But I also need to I think I need to play more in the sessions. Like I need to just try new things and not get stuck in the same looking for this, looking for that, and just slow down in my sessions and just be more present
And look for the magic.
and look for the magic. Yeah.
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 And do you find that if things start to become a little bit too mainstream, is that where you start to feel some imposter syndrome creep in
For myself?
from a creative
Yeah.
standpoint?
I do. Yeah. And I think that's where like the photographers who I see shooting family sessions so magically, and I'm like, oh, I want to shoot like that. That's where imposter syndrome comes into because I don't feel like I'm there.
Oh,
I'm like here.
wow.
I see your family sessions and I'm like, the emotion that I see
Yeah.
from the men. And that's what I always find
Oh, that's
so amazing about
amazing.
your things. And like, cause I really wish I could get my husband to do those. I just don't see
Aw.
it happening. But the emotion that you capture in the men always, I find really incredible.
Oh, that makes me so happy. Cause they a lot of times they show up really, they're the ones that are like, they're nervous, they're like awkward, they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And
Cannot tell.
you,
Like, cause it,
but
that's
I
what
engage
find
with
it
them
so
a lot
incredible.
more
Just
in the
like, you don't see
session.
men emoting like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's so special to see.
Oh, that makes me so happy. Yay.
Yay.
And honestly, after almost every session that I do, the men are the ones who are just like, that was so much more fun
Right?
than I anticipated. So
Isn't that nice?
Because they can be vulnerable,
Oh,
yeah,
which is not
yeah.
normal.
it's not normal.
And
Yeah.
I think that's why I love seeing it so much. I think you see the emotion in everybody, but I guess the men just stand out to me because
Mhm.
it's not something you normally see.
Yeah.
That vulnerability.
I remember this one session I went to and I was a little bit late. Something had happened at home and so I was a little bit late, but it was close to my house. So I came running down the beach and I knew the woman. And so I gave her a hug and this was a newer partner. And so I went to give him a hug. And as I was hugging, I was like, are you a hugger? He's like, no. And I was like, okay, cool. And then awkward self is that's fine. Meanwhile, inside I'm like dying. But at the end, he gave me a hug.
Aw.
And I was like, I win.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
I love it.
Yeah.
Your work is really above par.
Thank you.
It's beautiful. And I love that just you, who you are, and I think this is the way it is always with creative people, other people see what you don't see. Like
Sure.
you're so much harder on yourself
Yeah.
and feeling like you're not quite doing it or you're not quite getting there. And
Yeah.
but we see it like
Oh, 100%.
big time.
Thank you.
Yeah, your work's beautiful. Does imposter syndrome show up in your family? When you're the rest of your life, or is it just
Yes.
no?
I'm a
yes.
mom.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I'm a mom and I'm like a late stage of life mom. So I don't have the energy that younger moms have with their kids. I just sprained my ankle in a pothole.
I'm laughing because
Right?
I have sciatica. So I'm
Right?
laughing.
Like it sucks.
Jeez.
I'm commiserating. I'm not laughing. I'm laughing with you because I feel it.
How old were you when you decided, or not when you decided, how old were you when you had children?
37.
Yes.
I was
so that's
37
right.
and
Both
Jeremy
right.
was 39. And I'm still I'm pretty healthy and I still have a lot of energy. But man, I do not have child energy.
No.
It is intense.
Yeah.
And
Two.
yeah. And then when I've been married for 25 years, so I was married 18 years when we had the girls. And that was like,
What a change of life for you guys, for your relationship.
oh my God. And in our heads, we were like, oh, it'll be fine. We've got this 18 years of foundation.
Ooh.
No, it was like a tidal wave knocking us over. And we had to figure out how to be in a relationship all over again because it was totally different.
I've heard that a lot. Like I
Yeah.
wasn't with Matt when I had Carrie, so we had to figure it out after the fact, but I've heard that from a lot of people
Yeah.
that you really have to reconfigure or figure out who you are as parents. because it's
Yeah.
completely different as you are
As-
as individuals.
Yeah. As a couple without parents, very different than a
Yeah.
couple with parents. And you get to see sides of yourself that you never saw before.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's imposter syndrome. I honestly think social media has such a huge thing. it is a really big reason why people have imposter syndrome
Yeah.
so much these days. Like, I think it's always existed, but especially for creatives, but for parenting,
So
it's not
yeah.
that helpful,
No,
honestly.
No.
it's not.
And we've talked to a couple of young moms on the podcast, and I bring it up all the time, that I think it's got to be really hard to be a young mom raising a child through social media.
Yeah.
Because everyone's watching you and everybody's ready to
Judging.
judge you, and everybody's,
Yeah.
and I think that would be really difficult as a young mom. I had a child at 22. You
I was
were 23.
I was
You were-
33.
you were a little bit older. I was like 23 having a kid, and I can't imagine, with the lack of confidence I had at that time, to then be on display on social media and
Mhm.
listening to the judgment. Do you feel the same as a little bit of an older mom with a
Mhm.
little bit more confidence, let's say, with social media? Do you feel
I
that
think
same?
I think it's less that I feel judgment from other people on social media. It's more that I see, quote unquote, see, because social media is fake.
Mhm.
So you see people living a certain way with their children, and you're like, why can't I do that? Like, why can't
love
I
the way
play
you
games
live
with all
your
the
children,
time?
though. I watch you and I'm like, you're all so free and you spend so much time together and you all just, everybody gets to be their own person. And it's just, to me, it just seems so limitless. Everybody has just got all this freedom to be who they want.
Yes and no. That's the social media side of
I
things that
guess,
you see,
sure.
right? I'm not sharing the moments where I am having a meltdown with my child because she won't stop jumping on my couch 50 times in a row until the arms break off.
I mean, no one's sharing that. We probably
No
should
one
be sharing that
We
stuff.
should be sharing that stuff, because then I wouldn't feel like a bad mom.
No, I get it. I get it.
How often do you feel like a bad mom?
Oh, like 10 times a day, at least. Probably every 5 minutes.
Mhm.
Probably
Yeah.
every time I'm like, God, stop.
I would have thought that having a few years behind you would make you a more comfortable mom.
But
You
you
don't
don't, it doesn't matter how old you have because you're still a new, like you're still doing it for the
You're
first
still
time.
doing it.
So
Yeah.
you have your own lived experience as a person, but you're
Yeah,
still new to it. And then
exactly.
depending on how much older you are when you have those children, you're right, you don't have the same energy level as a 22-year-old mom who
Oh,
wants to be on the
gosh.
playground constantly. Like, I have no patience for that shit. I never did.
Me
No, I
I
neither.
don't want to play games. I don't want to like role play.
Yeah.
I
No.
don't want to play with action figures.
No.
I don't want to do anything like that. You want to chat? I'm happy to chat
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
You know, you want to draw or do something creative together? I'm cool to do that. But
Yeah.
it's like, I don't have a lot of energy to be doing those types of things
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
And there's people who do it constantly.
And it
or
just amazes
seemingly.
me. Yeah. It's
Seemingly.
seemingly.
Seemingly, yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't one to play with my kids like that either. I would take them to the playground, but I would sit in the car and read a book while they played in the playground or sit on the park bench. I wasn't pushing them on the swing and
Mhm.
sliding them down the slide. It's no, you guys figure that out. You're at a
Yeah.
playground. Do the play stuff, and I'm gonna sit on this bench and read a
Well,
book.
and I think
Yeah.
those are good skills too,
Yes.
to be able, like you said, to be able to entertain yourself or to be able to live in boredom and find
Yeah.
your way out of it. When
Yeah.
Carrie says to me, I'm bored, I'm like, good,
Yeah.
you should be.
My response often is, oh, that's really cool. What are you going to do? And then they'll be like, you need to tell me something to do. And I'm just like, it's actually not my job.
Yeah.
It's not my job to entertain you. It's my job to make sure that you're fed.
Are you looking to up your social media game? Social media can be intimidating and overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. At Every Day I'm Branding, we truly believe that every day is an opportunity to showcase your brand through authentic and aligned social media strategy and content. Whether you're looking for done-for-you social management or monthly strategy sessions, the team at Every Day I'm Branding can help you reach your ideal audience in a way that feels aligned and drives conversion. If you'd like to have the Imposter Sisters come into your business and help you and your team get comfortable creating social media content, ask us about our new Keen to Screen program, a value-packed social media training for anyone that is looking to up their social media presence either as a solopreneur or to empower their team to be impactful brand ambassadors.
You listed yourself as, when we talk about the types of imposters, you put yourself down as the natural genius. The natural genius cares about how and when accomplishments happen. For the natural genius, competence is measured in terms of ease and speed. The fact that you have to struggle to master a subject or skill, or that you're not able to bang out your masterpiece on the first try, equals failure.
Yeah. My daughter actually is the same one, Olive. She's very similar to that.
Yeah.
And so we give up before we ever really learn it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Give up
That
before you learn it.
self-sabotage.
There's
Yeah.
that self-sabotage, right?
Yeah.
You're used to excelling without much effort. So if something is hard, you'll walk away from it.
My son is also like that, very
Yeah.
much so. I actually think I am a little bit too.
How do you push yourself past that?
So that's something that I've been working on actually this summer with like other creative avenues, because for me, photography has come super easy. It's super easy for me to see something in front of me and compose it in a way that looks like a really great photo. That has always been easy for me. I've always loved it, and it's just very natural. Painting and drawing, nah, not at all. And so I'm just playing with it. I've been playing with it all summer. I'm just like, whatever, it's okay. It's fine that it sucks. And because my kids are watching me, I have to be super careful about my inner judgments and stopping.
I am so jealous right now. I have wanted to learn how to paint
Mhm,
watercolor,
mhm.
but I don't consider myself an artist. I'm a graphic designer and I
Mhm.
can make the computer do stuff, but I can't draw. I can do all kinds of other stuff. Give me needlework or whatever, but I've never painted. I've never drawn. I'm not an illustrator. I want to,
So just
but
do
I'm
it.
terrified of it. And this is where the
Yeah.
imposter syndrome comes in. I'm so blown away that you're doing this.
I'm doing it. I mean, I'm not doing it as regularly as I would like to be doing it. And I would actually like to take a class on it, on like watercolor painting.
Yeah.
I think in the last, like, however long social media has been around, we have programmed ourselves to only do things that we're good at because we have to show it to
Yeah.
everybody.
Oh,
It's true.
And so if you're just doing it for yourself, who cares if it doesn't look like you imagined it to look in your brain, or what it looks like on the picture that you're trying to paint or draw? It doesn't matter because no one's seeing it. It's just you doing it.
It's true.
that is a pretty brilliant thing you just said.
I've had a month to think about it.
That's why everything's why we need
time
rest.
off.
We need
Yeah,
rest
you need rest.
to come up with these brilliant insights. But I think it's so true.
You're right.
We are driven by, oh, let me do this so I can show what I've done.
Yeah.
It's not just for the sake of doing it
No,
anymore.
like I try to remember who I was before I joined Instagram, before I came onto Facebook or Instagram, because I was already in my 20s when that
yeah, me too.
started, and I had this whole life before, and I took photographs before and nobody ever saw them. I went to the dark room and I processed my film and I processed my photos, and I still have them, but nobody's ever seen them.
It's such a good point. It is such a good point. And I think most people are like that now. We're only doing it for the gram.
Mhm.
It's funny because this is gonna sound so stupid. I've been so jealous of watching young moms share their child's birthday parties online, because I've thrown some epic birthday parties for my and like created like amazing things for my kids' birthdays. But they're not online. They were never shared. There was nothing done because it was
And it
before
didn't happen.
Instagram. So it didn't happen. But now I'm like, I'll see birthday parties. I'm like, oh yeah, I did that too. Or I made the
Take out your old photos.
right.
Take,
And I
take
also
pictures of them.
I do. I should. But again, you didn't even take photos
Back
like
then, no.
that.
Too busy running a party.
I was too busy running the party, and it would have been film cameras, so you weren't like wasting all that film
Yeah.
to take 15 pictures.
Yeah, you
of
took
the
like one
castle
photo of
just
the kid in
made,
front of
right?
it, and
Like,
that's it.
so it's
true.
Yeah, I
but
know.
it bugs me that other people have gotten to show those things online.
Yeah.
How stupid.
It's funny because I thought you were going to be like, it upsets me that I didn't think of that when I was young. I was just like, I can show it off. I
can
just
show
like
it
thought of
off.
it all.
I
I
can
thought
see it
everything
all.
you're doing, and I did it way better.
That's right. I did it better than that.
And I didn't get to show it off.
I turned my entire house. I took brown paper and turned my entire house into Cinderella's castle.
Oh my God.
Wouldn't that look good on social media?
Not
right
that
now?
I am not that mom.
I only did it for
That's why I was
birthdays.
like, I'm so glad that it didn't exist as much when, because I didn't do anything like that.
Yeah.
I scrapbooked, and I remember I would scrapbook when the kids were young, and if they were bugging me, they were coming in the room and they're pestering me while I'm trying to scrapbook. And I remember this one day, I'm like, would you stop? I'm trying to make nice memories for you.
Oh my God. So yesterday I was trying to I have to teach this workshop in Scotland next week. Yeah, next week.
Did you just say, I have to teach this workshop in Scotland next week?
Like, I'm living vicariously.
Oh, do you
And
need
it's on being present.
Oh,
And I was
can
like
use that
trying to
phrase.
type it out yesterday, and my daughter was like getting upset. So Micah was in the kitchen making waffles with Jeremy, and I told Olive to come upstairs and sit with me while I was working and to do some things while I was working. So she came upstairs and she does not sit still. So she got bored and went downstairs and then tried to interfere in the cooking that was happening. And then they got upset with her and told her she couldn't help. And so she ran to her room, and I was like staring at the word presence on my computer. And I was like, oh my God.
Exactly.
Computer.
Exactly.
Go downstairs.
I get it.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, it was amazing. I was like, yep, okay, let's actually do it then, DeeDee.
Wow. It's the worst when we had
When,
those moments of self-awareness.
Oh, it's a self-awareness moment.
I like to live in
Oh.
ignorant bliss.
Yes. When
Oh my God.
Noah was 10 or 12 or something playing hockey, and I used to get his skates given to me to write blog posts about hockey or whatever. And so I would have to take pictures of the skates, and pictures of his sticks were also covered. Anyway, but he said to me this one day, he said, Mom, every time I look up, you're on your, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm taking pictures of the skates so I can blog about them later. And I thought, no, this is awful. Right? You need, being present with the kids is so important and so
Yeah.
freaking hard.
It is.
It is hard.
It is. Yeah,
hard.
it's really hard. And my kids have definitely said those things about me. You're always on your phone. And then this summer I was not always on my phone. I would leave it somewhere and not go to it. And then I can't remember where we were, but I'd picked up my phone to check something because I was waiting to hear back from somebody about something. And Olive said, you're always on your phone. And I put my phone down and I was like, no, I'm not. I can confidently say that this summer I was not always on my phone, and I made a great effort not to be. And she was like, you're right.
Oh,
Good.
So
Yeah.
good.
I can actually
Yes,
see that too.
They actually saw it, and I was like, oh, thank God. Thank God they noticed.
What advice would you give to a new photographer starting out so that they don't compare themselves to others and feel that?
I don't think it's possible not to compare yourself to others. But I think the difference is in the comparison, in what you're taking away from the comparison. So I think that you can compare yourself to another artist in a way that you're trying to learn from what they're doing. Or you can compare yourself in a way that's just going to make you feel like shit about yourself. Just don't do that one.
Yeah,
You know,
that's good.
just like
advice.
that.
Okay, don't do that. Just look at what other people do, but
Well, I like to when I get caught in something like that, I like to think about, okay, where's my point of difference
Yeah.
and who's my audience? Because it's usually
Yes.
not the same audience,
And-
and then that's easier for me to frame it. Be like, okay, they're definitely catering to this audience. That's
Mhm.
not an audience I want or
Yeah.
should cater to.
yes.
But I think like a really good thing to remember as an artist is that you are only you. Because that's where imagination comes from. It's like the connection between the past and the present. And so if you're the person that's there creating the art, then you're the only person creating that art. You can try and copy, you can try and do the same thing as other photographers, but it's still going to be different because it's you that is the one behind the camera, bringing your past into the present
Mm.
experience.
Yeah.
So it's your imagination. Nobody has the same imagination. You can grow up in the exact same, you can be twins, like Olive and Micah, completely different. They were born 4 minutes apart. They've had so many similar, same experiences. They've been raised the exact same. 2 different kids.
Yeah, it's so interesting to get to see that play out.
Yeah, it is very interesting.
I love that analogy though. That is so helpful, I think, for all creatives,
Yeah.
Yeah,
for all people really, but
for all people. I like that. I think
it's so easy, I think, for as creatives to get caught up in this spiral of I should be doing it this way, or
Yeah.
it should look this way, or everyone
Yeah.
else is doing this, and why am I doing it differently? But then I think that's where the magic is.
Exactly. That's what I love about hosting photography retreats actually, is when we're all shooting together, because you're all shooting the same person in the same spot at the exact same time, wearing the same clothes, looking the same, sometimes even with the same camera, the same lens, and they all look so different.
Yeah, that
I
is
like that.
That's
That
really
is,
cool.
I just love that. And it's because we're all different showing up. So yeah.
It would be so interesting to put those all together as like a show.
Yes, that's a great idea.
So you could see how all the
Brilliant.
different
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
That would be so interesting.
Yeah, you're right. It's you. Every single one is going to be different because it's
Yeah.
you behind the vision.
Yeah.
Oh, little nuggets. One of the ways to combat imposter syndrome is to actually listen to how awesome the people in your life think you are. If you're looking for the perfect gift for a loved one, where you can tell them all of the things that make them special, visit my Drawbridge Creative Etsy shop and purchase a Things We Love About You custom poster. With several styles to choose from, it's a fabulous gift for any milestone birthday, anniversary, retirement, or just because.
Come to our speed round. So speed round, we ask 5 questions, try to answer in 1 word if you can. Not all of them are that way, and we are offering a pass. So
Yes, you get
Oh,
one
I
pass.
get one pass. Okay.
Yes.
it's just a new
Let's see if I need it.
development.
Yeah.
Okay. Name a person who inspires you.
Daughters.
If you had a time machine, would you go to the past or the future?
Oh God. Past. For sure.
If you were a superhero, what would your superpower be?
All of them. Can I choose that?
All the powers?
Yeah.
Just wanna be everything.
I guess you can choose that. I don't even know what all the powers would
I
be.
don't know what it means either. All the things.
You could have dinner with any fictional character. Who would it be?
Oh, fictional character.
It's a good one. We
That
haven't
is
had
a
that one.
really good one. I hate these kinds of questions because then I can never remember anybody's names.
I know.
This might be controversial in this day and age, but I'm gonna pick Jane Austen because I'm super curious to know what the hell she was thinking. I love her stories,
Yeah.
and that for her time they were very provocative, and I just want to know. I just want to pick her
think
brain
that's
on
fine.
some of those.
Yeah. What is your favorite way to relax and unwind?
Reading shitty books.
Yeah.
Shitty
is a
books
good
are
one.
good.
Yes,
Such a good escape.
I know. So nice.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
call them beach reads.
Beach reads,
Sim-
yeah, a lot of
because
people
to
do.
me, I like a book that you can read in a couple of hours, and if you accidentally left it at the beach, you don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever, I can pick up another beach
True.
read.
Yeah, I
Right?
agree.
Or
Yeah.
if you left it on the airplane or left it,
Yeah.
who cares? Whatever,
Yeah.
beach reads.
You can
That's
pick
what
up
I
another
often
one.
buy for the airplane or beats
Yes.
like that, and then I just leave them in the seat when I'm done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
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 That's smart.
Thank you for joining us.
You're
Everybody
welcome. Thank you
needs to
for having me.
Follow your Instagram because even if you're not a photographer, to me, it's just a place to get inspiration.
And I host creative retreats all over the world, so
Yes,
you can get information on those if you follow me. That's great.
yes.
I
You're
love
doing
it.
one in Scotland?
Doing one in
Yeah.
Scotland. I leave on Tuesday. And then next year I'm doing one in Greece, in Santorini.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Do you have to be a photographer?
No, no. So the creative retreats are for anybody who just wants to be creative.
Because I really want to go to Santa.
So do I.
Yeah, I'll sign up. I got spaces, guys.
Okay.
They're gonna go fast after I advertise after Scotland.
Yeah, after it's on this podcast with all.
Yeah,
our
exactly.
audience.
Yeah. You'll sell out for sure. It's our
Gonna
big
just be, like,
audience.
flying off the shelf.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank
Oh,
you
it's awesome.
guys.
Thank
That
you.
was so nice.
Thanks so much for tuning into this episode of Imposter Sisters. Please remember, we're not doctors or mental health experts. If you're looking for mental health guidance, please see our show notes for local resources. We'd like to thank our location sponsor, the Mellow Mug, located at 64 Delridge Lane, for donating this amazing space for us to have these important chats and for supplying us with drinks and goodies. Please give them a follow and make sure to stop in to see this beautiful spot for yourself. Until next time, keep your head high and we will see you next Tuesday.
Serving up hot brews, refreshing cold drinks, lots of fresh baked goodies, and delicious lunch options. Visit the Mellow Mug in the heart of Larry Utech for dine-in, takeout, or drive-through service. Their spacious cafe offers a casual and inviting vibe that's perfect for everything from enjoying a good book, hanging with friends, or meeting a colleague. The Mellow Mug is your neighborhood spot for great coffee and delicious eats and sweets.